So, number one, for Metroid series in 2023, we get a Metroid Prime 4 trailer. I think it's time. I
Yeah,
think it's time, and I think that of all of the things on my list, this is probably the most likely to happen. If we were doing percentages, I would bet like 65% on this. Could it be any higher, but still,
yeah.
decently high.
So here's the thing, because I totally agree with you. But last year, I was also very optimistic that that was going to be
Me
the year of
too.
Metroid Prime 4.
Me too.
Granted, Nintendo didn't end up having an E3 showing, so I mean that definitely put a hamper in things. I definitely didn't expect that. I
2022,
would
by the
assume,
way.
huh?
That 2022, by the way, is just like it was the most bizarre year for Nintendo. Like it just was a bizarre year. Like even like with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming up, that's the most insane promotion of like a big AAA game I might have ever seen. It was a weird
Hmm.
year.
Well, like the thing is, I remember we were doing this last year, and like we were going into 2022, like, oh my gosh, Nintendo's already revealed so much 2023. That must mean there's so much on the horizon, and it's like, not exactly, not
No,
exactly.
no.
Like yeah, we got Xenoblade 3, we got Nintendo Switch Sports.
Splatoon.
No, well, because that we already knew about that beforehand.
Oh,
We already
you're
knew
right.
about
You're
that.
right. Um,
I feel like there was at
what
least
else did
one
we
other
get?
game, Mario Strikers. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any other new games announced for 2022.
Hey. Yeah. What else?
Yeah.
Like, I'm having a hard time. I guess maybe Mario Rabbids, but I can't remember if we
Well,
already knew
again,
about
that was
that.
announced in 2021
Was
though.
it? Okay.
Yeah. Same
What
thing.
like what else
Even the
even came
Bayo
out
3
for the
re-reveal was
Switch?
in late 2021.
Yeah, like I feel like 2022 was a fairly down year for the Switch because like really your big games were Splatoon, Bayonetta, Xenoblade, Kirby. Uh, uh,
Somehow not Advanced Wars. I don't even know
yeah,
where
poor.
in the world Carmen San Diego put that game.
I don't know if that game, which is really too bad because I was planning on buying that game because I liked that studio and that style of gameplay a lot. So I don't know about that, but it does feel weird, doesn't it? It feels like there weren't a lot of like big games released this year. Like I feel like the big thing for the Switch in 2022 was the absence of Tears of the Kingdom for almost the entire year, which
Mhm.
was too bad. So yeah, I mean like I don't know. It did feel like a weird year, a bad year. I would say probably the Switch's weakest year since this came out, maybe.
I
Um,
think it's all a matter of opinion. For me personally, I would say that because I didn't buy a single Switch game this year. Not even Splatoon 3, which again I love Splatoon, but
yeah,
I haven't been feeling that itch to like get back into the series yet. So I'm waiting for a discount on that.
yeah. Like I played a lot of Xenoblade. I think it's a fantastic game. But like I think that was the only. That might have been the only Switch game I purchased this year. Like Xenoblade, and then someone sent me a copy of Kirby, as I talked about last week. But I definitely did not purchase that. So yeah, just kind of a little bit of a more I don't know what's a polite way to say it, a transition year maybe as we get geared towards 2023, which hopefully does promise to be a big year. I mean, I guess the actually that's not true. Pokemon Arceus came out, which is pretty fun. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I haven't bought them yet, but I'm sure it's Pokemon. It'll be fun. You know.
Honestly, for me, the biggest thing this year, when I know you'd completely disagree, but the Mario Kart DLC, like I've been having so much fun
Yeah.
with that. That
Well,
like for me, and that was something I would have never expected before that was announced, and so that was for me the biggest Switch surprise, I guess.
yeah. So kind of a bum year for the Switch in our opinion, but I just think like in terms of even like quantity of new big releases, like certainly a downer year, but I do think that 2023 could be the year where we get the Prime 4 trailer. Like I think it's time. They've been working on this game, so development restarted in what 2018? Is that right?
2019, so it's gonna be 4 years very soon next month.
Okay. I think that 4 years is enough time to even like have a slight teaser trailer. I'm not expecting like a big blowout, anything like that. I just think that like remember that Bayonetta 3 trailer that we got at the end of one of those Nintendo Directs and
Yeah,
like
the one
basically
last year.
yeah, like that kind of trailer, like the one more thing kind of trailer where it's like a couple
Yeah,
seconds and then it'll tell us, a little bit about maybe the general story, anything like that. I think that is a realistic possibility for 2023. I don't know. What do you think?
So I agree with that, and I would imagine that if we are going to get Prime 4, it's going to be the one more thing at the end of hopefully Nintendo's E3. We can only hope. But
even a direct, I feel like would be fine. Like if it was the February or September direct, like
well, I'm just saying
something.
if they were going to do it, I would imagine it being like the end of an E3. I don't see it being like at the end of a regular general direct. But
Yeah.
I'm also one of two minds on this because while I agree with this, while I do think that if I were to put it on the scale, I would put it on the scale on more likely than less likely. I'm also of two minds on this. And on one hand, I could see Nintendo being like, okay, you know what? It's been 4 years since the reboot. It's been 6 years since the game was initially announced. We have some stuff to show. Let's finally show this off right now. On the other hand, though, I could also very much see Nintendo playing the route of no, we don't want to show this until we're ready to ship this game. We don't want to show something off after all this waiting and be like, oh yeah, you got to wait another year too long. I definitely would want that. I would want that, but I could also see Nintendo being of that mindset and not wanting to necessarily go that route, and maybe holding it off a bit longer.
I could see that because I do think, like for me, like I have been very frustrated with this Tears of the Kingdom release or like promotion, I guess you'd call it. And like I do think that like very clearly they announced that game too early. So I do wonder if they would want to avoid making a similar mistake with Metroid Prime 4. I would have okay, here's my outside bet number 1. I'm just going to throw these outside bets in as they kind of come along. I would say, so what did I say, like 65%?
Yeah.
I would say that 40 to 35%, if it doesn't happen, is because outside bet, something that could happen in 2023, is Nintendo reveals the successor to the Switch. Metroid Prime 4 is on that, and maybe Nintendo reveals that they're working on a new Switch, but they don't really have anything else to show other than the announcement that they're doing it. I think that it's almost guaranteed that if Nintendo in 2023 says like we're working on the Switch Pro or the Switch Next or whatever it's going to be called, I would almost bet the farm that Metroid Prime 4 at this point would just show up on that. So that is why I could see it not showing up in 2023. But I think I would bet on it coming because I think it's time.
Totally agree. I totally agree with that. I've been a long advocate of Metroid Prime 4 being a cross-launch title similar to Breath of the Wild, Twilight Princess, those couple of games. And I don't know, maybe Metroid as the big launch title, maybe that could be like a big opportunity for the Metroid series. I don't know, because on one hand it's not a big name like Mario or Zelda, but on the other hand, when that's like the big game that you need to play on the new system, like I feel like it's going to put a lot more eyeballs on. So maybe it can work out in its favor.